questions. The first is, what was it like when the door first shut on you? And then second, what was your initial strategy for survival? Walk us through that.
When I walked into Big Sandy, you're talking about when the door closes there, when I walk in the unit that first day?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I walk into the unit there, I talk about this in my book too.
Yeah.
I'm
going to get a copy.
I'll send you one. Hey, when I walk into this place, the lights are illuminated. Everybody's yelling. You smell cigarette smoke. They're not supposed to be any tobacco products. Yeah. And everybody's looking at you. It feels like everybody's got their eyes on you. And immediately this white guy beelines to me. He's got one arm. They call him Lefty. How ironic, right? And Lefty just starts talking. Hey, man, what cell they putting you in? Where you from, man? Who you run with? You run with the whites?
Yeah.
And this is so that people know that are listening. In federal prison, everything is racially segregated. It's not that you necessarily want it to be that way, but that's how it is. I mean, there were times in there where, in certain units, they had a white mop bucket, a Hispanic mop bucket, a black broom, things like that.
Wow.
Right? So, excuse me. So as soon as you walk in, the people are pressing you. Who you run with? They're putting me in a cell with another white kid, and they're like, hey, that dude runs with the blacks, man. You don't want to go in a cell with that dude. And they try to figure out a place for me. They tell the cop, this is the cell. We're going to get a cell for him, and we'll let you know. And the cop says, yeah, just let me know. I couldn't believe that the prisoners are telling the cops where people are going to live, right?
Shit.
So that was kind of like my first introduction immediately. And then it was either that day or the next day. I think it was that day where this kid slaps the CO, slaps the guard right in the middle of the day room, kid from New York. He slaps the CO, and the CO goes, what did I do? The CO's asking the prisoner what he did wrong. And all the New York dudes swarm the cop. They circle the cop. And I'm like, what the? So all the stories that I had heard, this is it. This is Big Sandy. This is the place. And even before I got in there, when we're walking down the hallway, eventually I find out it's my homeboys, right? And your homeboys are the people from the East Coast, New York, Boston, kind of got their own car, our own group.
Yeah.
They end up beating up a kid that, you would refer to in prison as a booty bandit. They smashed this dude named Skinner because he was trying to force this young white kid to do something sexually, and they smashed him. So I see him leave on the stretcher, and I see these other three white dudes handcuffed behind their back, give me the nod when they're walking down the hallway, like, boom. And one of the kids turns out to be a kid from Boston named Dennis Mooney that I become really close with, in Big Sandy. But he was the kid that kind of gave me the nod, like, what's up? So that was my introduction to Big Sandy, man.
Wow. Not that I wouldn't get too much on it, but I do a lot of mob interviews and so forth. How do the Italians fare in a federal prison like that? They with the white guys, do they kind of have their own thing? Are they respected, not respected? How do the mob guys how do they fare?
Alley Boy was in my unit when I first got there.
Oh,
right?
wow, okay.
The son. Some of them dudes, a lot of Italian dudes just kind of do their own thing. Like, they don't really have trouble. Vic Amuso was over there when I was there. They don't really have trouble. They just kind of do their own thing. But I will tell you this, even though everything's racially segregated, the black dudes from New York will always look out for the Italian dudes from New York. In every prison that I've been in, Big Sandy, USP Lee, the New York dudes are like, nah, forget all that, man. He's from New York. And they do that, some dudes accept that, some dudes don't. But the New York dudes that are Italian mob guys, they don't really have issues, man. They kind of do their own thing, mind their own business. And if they did have an issue, I'm telling you 9 times out of 10, some people might not agree with this, but the New York dudes will look out for them regardless of race.
Small world. I took Allie's niece to the prom. Another discussion. All right. So, okay. So you're there. You're starting to take your courses. You kind of hook up with like the right. No, but so when you gotta get hooked up with the group, right? So obviously you're a white guy, so you may hook up with those guys. Are there like subgroups? Like for example, like are AB? Like is it like AB here and just regular white? Like how does that? Because I'm fascinated by like it's racially segregated, right? But there's also a lot of different ideologies. Are you kind of forced to roll with somebody you may not have the right ideology with, or is there like subsects that you can maybe like, okay, you know what, I'll roll with these guys, but not these. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I'll tell you this, right? When you come to Big Sandy, I get there. There's a guy there. He was also involved in the mob, Adam Oliveri. Yeah. I don't know if you know who Adam is. He was with, I forgot exactly. I could pull it up, but I forgot exactly who he was with. One of the probably the toughest, most dangerous white dude in the whole prison over there. All right. Oh, wow. But as soon as you come there and you're from the East Coast, you don't really have a choice. They tell you, hey, if you don't want to be a part of the car, you don't have to be. Yeah. But they're going to smash you. And what I mean by smash you is you're going to get throttled and you're not going to be there no more. You're going to get beat up. They probably won't stab you for that, but they will definitely beat you up. Back then, you're going to be in your car. And if you're not, they kind of feel like, you're turning your back on people. They're Stevie Burke from Boston.
Oh,
right?
wow.
So Stevie Burke is the shot caller. Adam Oliveri's like the second in command, but he is the muscle. Adam is the muscle. And, the next day they're like, yo, your homeboys want to see you, man. They're there. They already know I'm coming. They know my number. They lay down the rules. This is what it is. And whether or not you have the same ideology as them or not, you're going to be in that car. And that's just what it was, man.
Now that obviously this comes with the price, is it you got to like kind of do certain things? You got to give up commissary? Like what's kind of they're not doing this out of the kindness of their heart. What's generally the kick on these type of things?
Well, it's not that they're not doing it out of the kindness of their heart, but what they, there's power in numbers, right?
Sure.
So the more people you have, the more power you have. And Stevie Burke was on a power trip over there. Like, it got crazy because Adam ends up stamping the car.